Good afternoon, hello and welcome to those joining us live in the National Capital for this next session as part of course, the IBLF 2022. And for those of you joining us online and of course also on television on NewsX, welcome to you all as well. We are swiftly moving ahead to our next session today, which of course is in conversation with the academic duo who were just introduced by of course the MC. The book as well that we are going to be focusing on, that has been recently released by them, is much talked about, yes, not just in Delhi but all across the country. The book is titled Leapfrog, 6 Practices to Thrive at Work. I want to quickly show it to you all as well. It's got a very interesting cover as well. So you can truly see how possibly you can leapfrog your way in your career after reading this book. But without further ado, I want to go straight into the conversation. Dr. Priyank Narayan, what was the idea firstly? Also tell us, how did you devise the title? But what was the idea behind the book? And just decode for us what these 6 practices are, because I can't wait to follow it from tomorrow itself.
Thank you so much, Uday. Thank you for your kind introduction and the kind words. You know, Professor Sood and I both have been teaching at Ashoka for the last many years, and we teach students at the undergraduate level. He teaches, of course, at IIM Ahmedabad as well, so he gets a flavor of both the undergraduate as well as the management students. A lot of them come back to us and share with us stories, anecdotes, little nuggets of what's worked for them at work, what's made them thrive, what's made them do well. And through many conversations that we've had in the classroom with them, with recruiters, with friends who've hired our students, we've put together a very capsule version of some of the best practices that have made people thrive at work. These are a collection of stories, these are a collection of best practices, and a lot of this is, in fact all of this is very real, it's very authentic, it's very stuff that's actually worked on the ground. Mukesh?
Yeah, you see, a lot of it is based on research. Not only have we been talking to our students as to what works for them, but there's a lot of information available in journals. And as academics, we tend to write research papers. We do qualitative and quantitative research, which finally gets into a journal and sits there. Yeah. Typically, it is read by a dozen people. Most of them are our Ph.D. students. So we felt, why not take that research out from journals, make it sound simple, easy to understand, and put it in a book where people have access to it. So over many conversations with our students and with each other, we decided to write this book.
How was the research done for it? How did you go about, actually putting your thoughts into words?
Yeah. So the first thing is that we were intellectually humble, which is one of the chapters in the book, where you accept that there are certain domains that you are an expert at, that you know well, but there are a large number of domains where you are clueless. So to put it succinctly, do you know how stupid you really are? Or can you imagine that? So we then went around talking to colleagues in the social sciences, people in economics and political science, in music, in math, and tried to get from them nuggets of information and research that would buttress our arguments. Mm-hmm. And that's how we have, the book has about 30 or 40 pages of references that we have used in this book.
Do you want to quickly list them out for us, the 6 practices that people can follow? Do you want to quickly list them out for us before we get further into certain macro conversations on the topics you picked up as well?
Absolutely. So I'll do the first 3, Mukesh, and you can do the other. The first one is about developing grit, and I think any...
And please pay due attention to this, because if you want to leapfrog your way to faster success in your career, you've got to follow these 6 hacks.
Thank you there. The first one is developing grit, and grit really is having passion and perseverance towards your goal for an extended period of time, right? The long and short of having grit as the first chapter is that there's no shortcut to hard work. I mean, you can be successful at work, you can do lots of things, and there are lots of other books which are there which prescribe various other things. But one thing that we always tell our students, boss, there is no shortcut to hard work, and that's grit, right? It talks about how you're going to have the art of endurance over a period of time. The second chapter is called actually nudge, and nudging, it's a behavioral science concept, but we've applied nudge in the context of making tricks or identifying tricks that work on you. So how do you nudge yourself to become more effective, more efficient in whatever you're doing? The third chapter is your ability to understand what you don't know. I mean, Mukesh talked about this a few minutes back, which is being intellectually humble. But the reality is that we are all confident idiots, right? We are all confident about what we know, but we don't know what we don't know. And the appeal in this chapter is really about developing that humility and the ability to hold a large and small ego at the same time to get work done and be more efficient in whatever we do. Okay?
Yeah, we also talk of being able to curate, which is, we are surrounded by so much noise, so much information, and we need to focus on what works, what is essential, and just do that. So curating from the large amount of data and being focused on doing what we think we should do is another practice that we talk about. We've talked about the power of interdisciplinary thinking. We both come from a liberal arts background because we teach in the liberal arts universities.
Now actually multiple jobs at the same time, and I think there's this age-old sort of very hot conversation that's going on about moonlighting and two-timing with your employer, so to say. I think that is a reality that the world has to accept. It goes back to the point that I was making earlier, the ability to experiment and the ability to wear multiple hats at the same time is something which the young professional today is ready to do. They're restless, they get bored very easily. And if we are not able to create an ecosystem of employability where they're able to satisfy that sense, I think we'll be struggling with retaining talent, with growing talent, and helping people leapfrog.
Youngsters today understand that if they join a company, unlike, let's say, my parents' generation, I mean, you probably have never heard of it, that you joined a company and you retired with the company. Yeah. Now, that doesn't really exist at all. So every few years, they are constantly looking to reskill themselves, pick up something that they don't know.
Skilling is very important. You're talking about that as well, skilling.
Exactly, yeah. Skilling. And discover also what they don't like. Because I tell students, figuring out what you like will take some time. But first start eliminating what you don't like. And then start finding out what you really enjoy.
I'll take one last second. I know it says time up, but I can see Karan Bajaj here in the audience. Karan, hi. We've actually talked about Karan's amazing story in our book, okay. And how he's navigated his journey as an entrepreneur, and he's an inspiration to many youngsters around. So that's one little nugget that's there to look forward to. Karan, thank you for inspiring all of us.
Well, he's in the book, and great to have him live here as well in our audience today.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, who doesn't want to do well in life? And you can. So do pick up this new book, Leapfrog, 6 Practices to Thrive at Work, written by Mukesh, Sood and Priyank Narayan. Thank you both for joining us in this session today at IBLF 2022.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.